You are crushing it at work, but you are hating how you look yourself in the mirror and pictures, and you are also having your stomach bulging out, and it makes you feel that you don't want to take pictures and avoiding the mirror, and that is also making you feel very uncomfortable right now. So this is also your reason to act on it. So in this video, I'm going to share 5 mistakes that is stopping you from losing weight, and by following the 5 strategies that I have for you instead, you can finally love how you look in the mirror. If you have not subscribed to my YouTube channel yet, make sure you hit the subscribe button and also turn on the bell to get notified whenever I'm making a new video about weight loss advice every single week. And also make sure that you hit the like button. I used these strategies to lose 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it off for 13 years. And I've helped dozens of men and women just like you lose up to 60 pounds and finally escape the yo-yo dieting cycle. And if you're tired of constantly losing and gaining the same weight, I want to help you get to your healthy self without giving up the foods that you love. First mistake you're making is that you're following fad diets, which are weight loss diets that are removing entire food groups. That could be not eating any protein, eating any carbs, or just eating no kind of fats. And the problem with fat diets is they are unsustainable in the long run, and it's also having higher risk of you losing weight like in short term, but you'll gain the weight back and maybe even more weight. And what you should definitely focus on is not having like diets where you are just drinking water like for 2-3 days and just eating high protein diets without any fats. So that, for example, be carnivore diets where you are just eating plain meat and high in fats. That could be bacon. And the reason for that is if you're constantly just having diets that are so extreme, you are having trouble sticking to it long term, because if you want to lose weight like sustainable, like I did myself, like 60 pounds in 8 months and kept it off for 13 years, it's important for you to eat foods that you really enjoy and not making it feel like it's like a chore or is something that is so extreme. The most important way to lose weight is just eating foods that you really enjoy, and it's not like a big extreme way to not eating any of the foods that you are used to. For example, if I'm trying to lose weight, I am basically just eating often the same things that I'm eating in the off season where I'm building more muscle. And when I am trying to lose weight, I'm basically just eating a lot of the same things. That could sound be lean chicken breast, and there could be salmon, egg, tuna, ground beef with low fats. And in the carb sources, I'm eating, for example, whole wheat pasta. It could be rice, whole wheat breads. And if you are having a balance with 45% of your daily calories coming from protein, 40% of daily calories coming from carbs, and having the fat being low, you are basically giving your body a lot of opportunity to build a lot more muscle with a high protein diet. And having more muscle helps you build a lot more muscle mass, and you're burning fat even more. And having high carb diets, which is important for you if you are weight training, you are recovering way faster, you have a long-term sustainable energy levels throughout the day, and your blood sugar is not dropping in the afternoon. And that's also having a lower risk of you affecting your performance at work. And also, if you are working out in the gym afterwards, if you are working out after work, you actually have some energy for that. And low fat diets is important for you if you're someone who wants to stay in a calorie deficit. Calorie deficit is basically just you eating fewer calories than your body needs to maintain its weight. So if you are sticking to a calorie deficit diet, like 200-300 calories below your maintenance calories, you are losing weight all around your body. And it's important to stick to that, because long term you're losing weight all around your body. And I know that's can be painful that you need to wait so long until you've seen results, but you just have to be mindful that it's a long-term process where you're losing weight, and not focusing on, if you want to lose 60 pounds, it's going to be a lot of trial and errors, because I messed up a lot in the first couple of weeks, because I had to adjust my body to how to actually lose the weight and learn how my body was reacting. But eventually I learned that just slow and steady is going to help you lose weight even faster. The next mistake you're making is that you're not performing any sort of cardio. Cardio is beneficial for you to increase your cardiovascular, which helps you when you're going out for walks, you're not feeling breathless, and you're also having a lot more focus when you are working out, and because you're not, for example, feeling so exhausted. So having some sort of cardio is definitely beneficial, but it also sort of when you should implement cardio, because if you're following calorie deficit diet, you are automatically losing weight. I always recommend that if you are in the first 1 or 2 weeks, you are following this calorie deficit diet, working out 4 or 5 times a week with your strength training, focusing on progressive overload with increasing the weight all the time, and focusing on mind muscle connection, where you are not just pulling a lot of weight to the bar, you are instead just being mindful that you are working out the muscle and letting the muscle moving. That is going to be very helpful. So you are building more muscle and you also lose more fat, and you can slowly adding in some cardio. I always recommend that you are focusing on adding cardio sessions, like you're going from 1 to 2 weeks with following the diet and the workout plan, and then you are focusing on adding, instead of 2 cardio sessions a week, then you are adding up to 4 cardio sessions a week with a cross trainer or a stationary bike, because there's some resistance. If you're just walking on a treadmill, you lose some weight, but it's not so helpful because you want to burn fat and also have some resistance while you're doing it. And you also want to have like an intensity that is like, let's imagine that 10 is the hardest, like you're doing hit cardio. Then you want to have your intensity like 6 or 7 and a heart rate of like 120 or 150, because that's enough for you to actually be in the zone of where you are burning more fat. And that is beneficial in the long run, because to be able to lose weight through the diet, you are creating this calorie deficit, but also to lose weight even more, you can burn additional fat by being in a bigger calorie deficit, and that is created through the cardio sessions. And also you want to add in some steps. That could be like 6,000 steps a day, because that's going to even increase the calorie deficit that you have. So this is also about pacing yourself. That's why when I'm trying to teach my clients how to lose weight in a proper way, you don't want to burn yourself out in the beginning. You want to pace yourself. With the first 2 weeks, you are just working out 5 times a week, and then you are slowly adding in cardio. And you don't want to keep doing more cardio if it's not necessary. That's why you want to track your weight on a scale. When the first thing in the morning, you're going to the bathroom, you're weighing yourself without any clothes, and then you are doing your thing, like you take a shit, or you are doing not eating anything or drinking anything, and then give you a more accurate way of what your weight is. And then you're also taking body measurements and pictures front, back, and side in the same lighting. And you do that every 4th week, and then every week you can see that you are changing your body and you're losing weight. And if you're hitting plateau where you're not losing 1 to 2 pounds a week, you can definitely just increase the cardio with 1 cardio session of 20 minutes more, and you can increase the steps with 2,000 steps more, so you're doing 8,000 steps every single week. So by keeping this plan, you're going to break through all the weight loss plateaus just by small changes. The third mistake you're making when it comes to, for example, cardio, is that you're performing way too much cardio. You want to pace yourself in the way that doing 4 times of cardio every single week, like with what I've just described in the earlier mistakes that you're making. And then if you're not losing any more weight, you can put 1 cardio session even more, 20 minutes, or you can put 10 minutes even more on the cardio sessions that you're making. So instead of doing 20 minutes, you're doing 30 minutes. The reason, if you are only focusing on doing too much cardio in the gym, you can derail your focus and your also recovery. So if you're someone who's going to the gym and you are, for example, spending like an hour on a cardio machine, you are burning calories, but the problem is that cardio is not going to help you losing so much fat if you're not combining it with strength training. And cardio can also impact your nervous system, that you're feeling so burned out after the cardio sessions, that you are having struggle with maintaining your focus when you're at work, and you're just, for example, talk with the clients and doing all these presentations, and they can also derail you a lot. So I always recommend that instead of keep doing the same things you've been doing for the last 10-20 years, with just focusing on doing cardio as the first thing when you're going to the gym, and doing it too much, it can definitely be a problem because you're just feeling burning out too fast. So I don't recommend that. So just pace yourself, because losing weight, like losing 60 pounds over the period of 8 months, is just slow and steady. Just keep doing the same cardio sessions of, for example, 4 cardio sessions a week until you're not seeing the results that you want. I would love to know, what is your biggest takeaway so far from the video? Just comment below and let me know. I love to hear that. The fourth mistake you're making is that you are going to the gym and you are doing cardio before you are doing weight training. Problem with that is cardio is not going to burn a lot of calories, but it's more how you are doing it. So if I were you, you are going to the gym and you focus on weight training, because weight training is going to help you build more muscle, and you're going to lose weight all around your body. So having more muscle mass helps you lose weight even faster. And cardio sessions, that could, for example, be like one cardio session where you are doing 1 hour of cardio, can help you burn like 500 or 600 calories, but you can definitely replace that fast with eating 2 muffins. So if you're focusing on weight training in the beginning, with focusing on progressive overload, mind muscle connection, and also 3 exercises of compound movements, and also 2-3 exercises of isolation movements, that can help you build a lot more muscle. And you're also going to have a higher rate of metabolism when you are not even working out. So that is like helping you burn fat even when you're not working out. So by just keeping these things in mind, you are able to also build a lean tone muscular body through breaking down these muscle tissues with using all the heavy lifting. Cardio is going to help you stay more lean and reducing the body fat, but it's not helping you build a lot of muscles. So if you are just on a weight loss journey and you are trying to lose weight with cardio mainly, you are most likely just having a stick figure where you have lost all the muscle. It doesn't look so beautiful. I always recommend my clients to, when they have the goal of losing weight, that they want to get a lean tone muscular body with having a lot of muscle mass, and by reducing the body fat throughout the weeks, the amount of layer around the muscle is reduced, so that is not so much fat covering the muscles, and that's going to give you the appearance of having a toned muscular body. Another thing I want to add is, if you are working out in the gym, you want to tailor your workouts around exercise that are compound movements and isolation movement. Reason is that I've seen a lot of people going to the gym and they're doing these home workouts without any weights or low weights. It's not going to help you build a lot more muscle and losing weight even faster. By having a foundation of working out with compound movement where you are targeting several muscle groups. For example, when you're working out your chest, you want to, for example, start out with the incline chest press in the split machine, where you don't have anyone to help you. This just yourself, you can use the machine, and then you're starting out with, for example, warming up your muscles, for example 10-13 reps with a certain weight, and then you are, for example, performing 1 to 2 reps before your failure, where you're not able to squeeze out a rep even more. And then you want to write down in your notepad, so you are tracking the amount of weight that you're performing. And if you feel like you can perform the 10 to 12 reps or 14 reps, then you increase the weight. That is also constantly saying that is progressive overload, where you are increasing the weight and you are setting your body through a foundation of building even more muscle, because you're breaking down the muscle tissues. And I know it's hard, but you need to stick with it. And then you're resting 60 seconds, then you increase the weight with maybe 2.5 kilos, and then you perform 10 to 12 reps. That is like the first set. And then you see if you are able to perform 10 to 12 reps, and then you just keep doing that. And if you are able to increase the weight even more with 2.5 kilos. You just keep doing that until the third set, where you are just doing the best with hitting 8 reps. And by doing this, you're going to build a lot more muscle. And by increasing the weight slowly, you're having a better mind muscle connection, which basically means that you are having the muscle working and not having moving the weights, because too many people are going to the gym and they are just using too much momentum because they don't have proper form, they don't have a controlled way of performing the reps. So that's also going to have higher injuries. And then you are, for example, going to dumbbell chest press, where you're doing the same exact formula, and then you can do incline or more decline, where you are doing decline chest press, and then you're targeting the lower part of the chest. Then you're doing all the compound movements done, and that is also in the beginning of the workouts where you have a lot of energy. And eventually you'll transition over to isolation movement, which is just targeting one specific muscle group. And the reason why you want to do that is because you have less energy. So focusing on less demanding exercise, for example, pec deck, that could be cable flies, then you're just doing the same thing, and then you're doing chest, like decline chest flies, and that is targeting at different kinds of area of your chest. And then you go over to, for example, arms. You're already using compound movement where you are targeting the chest, but you're also using your triceps, so you can do tricep exercises. For example, the most demanding exercise of hitting your triceps, that could be like the serpentine decline chest press. That could, for example, help you with targeting the inner part of the triceps. And then you can do rope push downs, and then some dips with weights or without weights. And by doing this, you're going to target all the heads of the triceps. And then you're doing that for every single muscle groups, where you're trying to Google what kind of compound movements there are for example, shoulders, and then for the legs and the back. The last mistake that you're making is that you are still thinking that eating healthy is the way to lose weight. And the problem with that is eating healthy is very broad, in the sense that a lot of people are just making excuses or thinking that high fats food, for example, nuts, is the way to lose weight, because a lot of experts are claiming that it's healthy. I focus on mostly that you are having the amount of calories that you need to be in a calorie deficit to lose weight all around your body. And that is going to take a long time. So you have to just be patient, because if you are losing weight around, for example, your whole body, this is different from person to person where you're losing weight. Some people are just losing weight around their stomach faster, and some around their arms, legs. But eating healthy can also be, for example, if you are someone who's focusing on the bodybuilding style, that you're having a high protein diet, you are getting a lot of foods from quality sources of lean chicken breast, turkey, ground beef. It's going to help you feel fuller and also have a high protein, with you're building a lot more muscle, so you can wear all the clothes at work with more confidence, and you're also having more energy levels, increasing your focus with higher carbs, for example, in your diet. I used to do low carb, but the problem with low carb or keto diet is that you are feeling very drained when you're working out, and you don't have enough carbs to focusing on recovery. So I don't feel like that is a healthy way to lose weight, because if you're constantly just feeling sluggish because of not eating enough carbs, that's not so healthy to lose weight in the long run. And also, if you feel that you are just on the verge of having a lot of cravings every single day, it can also be because you are not tailoring your weight loss plan around foods that you really enjoy. So I always try to have, for example, 10% of the daily calories coming from more cheat foods. I don't want to label as too much being something that you should feel bad about, but it's more foods that just something that is satisfying your taste buds. I always eat like 1 or 2 cookies every single day, because 90% of my daily calories are coming from whole foods like veggies, whole wheat pasta, whole wheat bread, lean protein sources, and that is just being easier to consume like 26 calories every single day. If you are eating whole foods, that can be difficult to eat all that. So you want to have some more fast digestible carbs that can satisfy your cravings. And I always feel like if you're someone who has the verge of being sick of how you look in the mirror and you don't want to take any pictures with friends because you're just feeling ashamed of how you look in the mirror, you definitely want to take some action right now, because a lot of my clients just been feeling this way that you are doing. So by doing some changes right now, especially before the end of the year, it can definitely be a big changer for you when you go into the next year. And if you are someone who at your heaviest weight and you want to be the most healthiest version of yourself, just like clients that you saw in the transformation pictures in the beginning of the video, I would love to help you. There's a link in the description and also in the comment section where you can book a call with me and we can see if you are fit to work with me. Looking forward to talk with you. Bye.